So today we'll be exploring Two Blind Bridge for our place, and I didn't realize when you came here on Fridays there's this random group of like biker gangs called the Black Empoleon. They're like, oh, we're gonna pummel you, blah, blah, blah. And all I had was like my HM slave Mew, so I'm just like, okay, fine, let's see if I can beat this thing, since Mew's not a terribly low level. All my Mews I have are HM slaves because how did you expect me to predict, how did you expect back in 4th gen for me to actually predict that Mew would be UU? God, I wish I had these Mews for competitive play, but they're all just HM slaves, so. I have 3 Mews, by the way. Fun fact. So, yeah, fighting this guy with a Bouffalon for no reason. I just left this in because I thought it's kind of funny, I guess. So, yeah, I knew I meant to do daily uploads like 2 weeks ago, but needless to say that my camera was kind of incapacitated. This is a brand new camera, by the way, that the quality is going to be a kind of meh in terms of the focus, those lines. I'm going to get rid of those eventually, just that I'm kind of new at this camera right now. This is the second thing I recorded with this camera. There's a Battle Lab that's way worse quality than this, but you have to deal with it, so. Yeah, the camera quality will just get better, and it's not terrible. I mean, it looks a lot better in terms of just pixel quality, but focus quality will get a lot better. And I love all those guys are like fast enough for me to look how fast those guys are going. How are they able to like turn that fast? It's ridiculous. They're on bikes. I don't see how you can go 90 degrees. Change of direction that fast. Anyways, we have a UU battle here against fast900. Found him on the Smogan Wi-Fi Battle Finder. This is a sort of newish UU team that I just kind of threw together as like a semi-stalled team based off like entry hazards and phasing and toxic. So yeah, let's see how it goes. He ends up leading off with Deoxys with his DOD. I'm just going to taunt it because I figure he's going to, do a non-attacking move just to try to taunt me himself, so that's nice. Ends up staying in and struggling. I think he did this on purpose to break my potential sash. That or he just misclicked and accidentally pressed fight by accident. Either way, I get a free layer up, sort of, but I do lose my sash, which does suck, and I'm going to be able to set up a second layer as he goes into his Crobat, which I know is going to outspeed me. Threatens me out with a Brave Bird. I'm going to switch out and go to my Bronze Long, predicting that. He ends up predicting some sort of switch, I guess, and goes for the Giga Drain to get some, and it does virtually nothing to Bronze Long, which is a new UU, so that's cool. And yeah, he ends up going for the Super Fang, so some sort of mixed-ish kind of Crobat, like specially, and just has Super Fang to deal damage to walls, I guess. And I do get up my Stealth Rocks, which is nice. I'm gonna stay in here because I don't want anything to take a Super Fang on the Switch, and that's never nice taking a Super Fang because it's half your health, man. So I think I don't know what happened there, but I'm gonna go for the Gyro Ball now, and yeah, it's gonna do a decent chunk because Crobat's fast and whatnot. It doesn't do as much as I thought it would, just because I'm pretty sure it would be max power since I'm mid speed and he's max speed, but either way, he ends up going for a Brave Bird here and gets a crit, which really sucks, but I really didn't have much use for Bronze Long other than setting up the rocks in this game, so it's kind of whatever, and I'm just going to go now Nidoking and threaten him out. I'm going to kind of bluff the Scarf here and stay in and go for the Ice Beam or Thunderbolt, and he just stays in, I guess, calling my bluff for that, or he just wanted to get some damage off. I really don't know why he stayed in there. That was a weird play, since you didn't get much damage off of Giga Drain. At very least, he should have Brave Bird. It would have done a lot more, but goes to Deoxys D. After the entry hazards, I'm thinking an Earth Power might be enough to take it out, so I go for it hoping that it would, but it does live with a very little sliver, and he does set up that one layer of spikes, which does come into play a little bit, so that's going to suck. So I'm going to go for a Thunderbolt, take him off in case he feels like switching into anything, but he doesn't, and he just lets his Deoxys die, since it would die to entry hazards on the switch back in. Zapdos comes out. I'm just going to switch out fearing the HP Ice or the Heat Wave. I'm going to Qwilfish as half fodder, and he doesn't go for the Heat Wave. It ends up getting a crit. Didn't really matter, though, at all, actually, since he would have just outsped me. Since I do see the Life Orb right here, I'm thinking he's an offensive Zapdos, fully invested in speed, and therefore would be faster than me. So going to Mandibuzz, because the best thing I have to take an electric move, hilariously, since it is my special wall of the team. So I'm going to go for the Toxic to whittle this thing down for later. So here, I'm going to go for the Roost, predicting him to predict me to go into my Nidoking, and he actually does that. He goes for the Heat Wave. I'm a little ahead of myself, but he does go for the Heat Wave, predicting my Nidoking, which is awesome, because I have high enough health to take it just barely with 16. Get a Roost off, and now this thing is successfully being stalled out by a Mandibuzz, which is awesome. Yeah, Mandibuzz, let's go. So after the Toxic, he's at a very low point of health. Looks like next turn he'll die, so I'm going to go into my Nidoking to take the Thunderbolt, but I didn't factor in the fact that he wouldn't be taking Life Orb damage this turn. So Toxic isn't quite enough to take him out, so I'm just going to let my Nidoking die. Maybe he'll overpredict again, hopefully, but he doesn't, and he just takes me out with a Heat Wave. So there goes my Nidoking, but his Zapdos dies too, so we gotta double down. So I'm just gonna go into my. He goes into his Registeel, I guess. I'm not sure why he went to Registeel, but he did. I'll go back into Mandibuzz because I figure I can just phase out whatever comes out because his team is based off phasing. So Registeel sets up an Iron Defense, which is awesome because I get a free Whirlwind off, and that now Dusclops has to take a bunch of entry hazards, and Registeel has to take a bunch coming back in. So that's nice. It's a weird Iron Defense on a Registeel is just weird. I don't know why that's a thing. Why is that a thing, really? Okay, but Either way, Dusclops comes out. I'm predicting Will-O-Wisp, so I go into my Arcanine, hopefully get the Flash Fire. He ends up going for the Protect, which makes me sad. So, go for the Flare Blitz, which will do enough. Just barely lives. God, I wish I killed that Dusclops right then and there, because he's going to be able to get the Pain Split off, and because of Dusclops' low HP, he still gets a ton back and deals a lot of damage to myself. Protect's there for absolutely no reason. I'm locked in the Flare Blitz, so I can't possibly switch moves, not to mention the fact that he has no leftovers, so he has nothing to gain from protecting there, but he does anyways, just to irritate me, I guess. And I just Flare Blitz him next turn, take him out. And then goes the Victini now. Right here, I'm just going to switch out Predicting Fusion Bolt and go into my Mandibuzz, which is funny, but I really just don't have much to take it, and I really just need a fodder at this point, so Mandibuzz are going to have to die to a Fusion Bolt. Actually can take one, which is surprising, since this thing isn't invested in defense at all, so, well, it has like 4, but you know. Yeah, so 2 Fusion Bolts take it out, which is fine. I do see the Life Orb, so I know it's not locked into it. I'm going to go into my Ambipom, figuring at that much health that a Fake Out might be able to take it out. But if a Fake Out did kill here, it would have been his game, because his last is the Registeel, and because I did see the Iron Defense, he would have been able to set that up on my Ambipom, because Ambipom can't do anything to Registeel, and would have been game from there. But he ends up just V-creating me, which looks awesome, by the way. I love how that move looks. I finally have some Victinas I can breed soon. I mean, to level up to 100 and stuff that I suffer-setted for, but that's another story. Yeah, so last two, each of us have one guy left. I have Arcanine, he has the Registeel. Because of the amount of health I'm at, I'm not going to be able to live Recoil, so Flare Blitz will be able to take out the Registeel, but I'm going to die myself, so that's going to be a 0-0, as you would call it, a tie game, I guess. Technically, it says right there that I defeated him. See right there, it says player defeated trip, so I won in that sense. The game technically declares me the winner, not that it really matters. That was an awesome match. Great UU game. I always tend to get better UU matches for the most part. So that is going to be it for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, because I will be uploading daily, like I promised.